Okay, today I'm going to show you my walk to work. It's 7 minutes long, and this is my walk back to work after lunch. So I've just kissed my girls goodbye. Goodbye, girls.
Bye.
Bye, love you.
Good afternoon.
Now walking down the hallway. We'll see whether or not this video makes you seasick or not. I hope not to bounce it too much. A lot of the light might change as well. We live on the first floor. There's our elevator, but I will come down the stairs. You can see there's our elevator also. Very useful for the stroller. This is the hallway to our apartment. The door, fortunately, is closed right now. Otherwise, a stray cat to the street can come in. Here's our gate. If you look down this way, at the end of the street, you'll see a bunch of white and blue vans. Those are microbuses. They take people down to another whole part of town. And so what they do is take people, deposit them right in front of our apartment, which is close to the metro. And that whole trip, no matter where you go, takes about 9 cents away from your pocket. Here we're passing 2 schools. Depending on the time of day, this street can be teeming with kids, usually grade school and middle school. They don't make too much noise and don't bother us during the day, but of course I'm at work a lot, so I don't hear it while they'd be here. One of the benefits of Maadi, you can tell, is the trees. It's very green around here. It's very pleasant compared to other parts of the city. And so as we come down, we'll make a right here on the main street. Probably as we walk by, we'll see a few of those blue and white microbuses go by. They come up and down this street here. As we look, you see the building coming up on our left. This is a school, though it's not technically accredited by the government. It's a Christian school that is used by a lot of the foreigners here who can't put their kids in the government schools, that's just the law, but also don't want to pay to put them in the expensive international schools. So this school here with the nice blue fence provides a good and cheap, probably cheap, alternative for a specifically Christian education. I think they even use Becca book materials and such. Over here, it's a big, massive apartment complex. They just have decided never to fill in the bottom of it for some reason. Eventually those look like they could be storefronts, but no one's ever bothered to finish it up. You can see going by a bunch of these blue and white microbuses. That last one that passed was a school bus. It's going to pick the kids up in a little while. We're going to come here to a very busy intersection, depending on the time of day. This is where it's hardest to cross. I don't know if you can tell from the streets and all. They're very clean for the most part, but also very dusty. We'll see if I pause as we come up to this intersection. These are the streets coming from the very popular circle that always has a lot of traffic. And I kind of have to time my way across, which I'll do right here. And continue on. The road I just crossed is the one that takes the microbuses into our part of town. The road I'm walking on now takes them out of town back to the circle. So this is the crossing point of all the traffic that comes into our neighborhood. Sometimes it's a little tricky to cross this street also, but usually not too bad. But once we get off this street, we're now more into neighborhoods. So where we lived is a neighborhood, but it's very close to a main shopping area and the metro and those microbuses. Here we're now in a bit more residential, and you can see the trees and just how much more quiet it is even on this one street removed. This building here to the left is where the family of my association live. They have the beautiful ground floor apartment with a garden, and one of my colleagues lives all the way up there on the roof, on the 4th floor, with the roof access. So that's a very nice place for him as well. A couple of years ago, several probably, their neighbor decided to turn their personal garden in the villa you can see right there into a mosque. And so inside there we'll walk by and you'll sometimes see the people praying. I'm not certain if I'll run into him on this trip, but all these cars in the streets that you'll see me walking by get cleaned every morning by a certain fella who just seems to be the designated person to clean cars. I think he's a gardener as well, and a lot of people trust him. I usually greet him every morning just by saying hi and then walking by. Friendly person. Julie has a friend from her Bible study who lives in this apartment here. One of these floors, I'm not really sure which one. But whereas where we live in Maadi, there are less foreigners than in other parts of this particular suburb, they still are here. This building, I don't know if you can tell exactly from up there, the flags, it's not actually of a country. This is the Embassy of Southern Sudan, oddly enough. They have representation here in Egypt. The Egyptian-Sudanese relationships are pretty strong, but maybe not strong enough. I don't know. The south of Sudan is very Christian, and they have separate representation even though they are not an independent country. Property values here are very high compared to other parts of the city just because so many foreigners live. They have great trees and great big buildings, villas, which makes this building very odd. You can see it's a massive complex, but yet completely abandoned. You would think if the person who owned that would simply put a couple, I don't know how much, $1,000 worth of work into restoration, he could sell it right away or rent it to any number of people who would pay top dollar for the rental values. Anyway, here we're turning into getting to the street where we work. Because of the commentary, this path is going a little over 7 minutes, but we're just about there now. That second building there, which we're going to turn the corner and get to, is the location where my office is that I work at. As we turn the corner, you can see this bottom building is a doctor of some kind. Lots of other apartment buildings here. One of the apartments we looked at when we first arrived in this country is right here in this complex, directly across the street from my office. One of our other interns lives there now. The guy was asking too much in rent, and there were mouse droppings here and there, so we weren't quite comfortable. But in any case, here's the building where we live. That's the gate I go in every morning. And there on the second floor is where the offices of our translation center are. And all the way up at the top you can see that sign, although probably not very well. That in English says the Center for Arab West Understanding. Oh yeah, and you can see the English there even. جمعية مركز التقارب بين العرب والغرب. That's on the 4th floor, and that's where I work. So, this is a small little tour. I hope you've enjoyed it. I don't think I'll need to take you all the way up, but just to get inside the building, you can see they have a beautiful garden here in the back. The other 2 floors that are not offices are just residences. And here we come in the gate, and I begin the walk up 4 flights of stairs. So I hope you enjoyed the trip, and, well, any comments or questions? I'll do my best to answer them. Have a great day.